Hello, and welcome to Dungeon Mester, the show where I'm a mess and so can you. Today, I'm going to be painting some Dohar. These are little penguin people uh, that I got from my mini factory. Um, they were, I think it's called Pengu Penguin, and these are by Cast and Play. Um, that's who makes these miniatures. So you can get these pretty cheap right now on my mini factory. These were printed on my Saturn III Ultra. And before I can paint them, I've got to do a couple of things for prep. But right now, YouTube is limiting my time to 15 minutes. Not sure why this guy didn't show up. There we go. This guy's really cool. He's selling stuff. He's got a bunch of fish in there and hooks and things. So this video is going to be me prepping stuff. I'm also checking sound levels and light levels and things like that right now. This is kind of an experiment, so I apologize if it's boring. One of the first things that I need to do is I need to put these guys on a base. So sometimes I like to use sticky tack, but their feet are really small, and I'm afraid that the sticky tack would just come up around them and I wouldn't get them painted. So instead, I'm going to be using some super glue and just a little dab will do ya. I'm going to super glue these guys onto these bases. These are just cork. Just some old cork I had laying around. And they're easy to take off of the cork. You can kind of cut through the cork with an X-Acto blade or something. And so when I'm ready to pull them off, it won't be too hard to do. This guy will be easy because he's got a big fat base. I will need to be careful when I'm painting this guy because he's got this really thin rope right here that I actually already broke when I was pulling the supports off of him. So I need to be careful with that when I'm painting it. Oh, he's not glued yet. It may be this type of cork. I don't know. I haven't used this kind before. I'm going to let him sit for a minute and see if he will stick to that. I've got a Spelljammer game coming up, run by the incredible Mr. Eric. I'm not going to put last names here to respect his privacy, but this guy is a top tier DM. He runs games that are something like I imagine Douglas Adams would run if Douglas Adams were alive and running role-playing games. This guy doesn't want to stick either. I've had this problem before. It's something about this cork. But if I get a cork that's already been painted, for some reason, the super glue likes to stick to the paint more than it likes to stick to the cork. A few seconds here. There we go. Check this guy. Yep, he's on there. That guy's on there. Good. Okay. I like to use these dumb little cork things. These are from wine bottles or whiskey bottles. Whatever. And I just put a whole lot on there, so I'm going to share the love here. Let's spread it out a little bit. I like to use these corks just because I have them laying around and they stand up real nice. simple and handy. You don't have to have anything too fancy. I know they make miniature holders specifically for this, but since these guys, as you can see, are not based, a lot of those miniature holders that are pre-made wouldn't work for these anyways. Those are more for guys with like circular bases attached. And I like to, these did have bases that you could 3D print, and they were really cute. But I like to put my miniatures on clear acrylic bases, just because I use a virtual tabletop and I like to be able to see the art, the virtual tabletop underneath the miniature. So for me, it's Cork. This cork may not want to work. I may have to paint it first. If you know why super glue doesn't like to stick to certain corks, let me know in the comments. Alright, last one. I'm excited about painting these. So before I do paint them, I have to... Oh, there went that guy. I have to prime them. And I'm going to use a technique called zenithal priming. And what that means is I will spray the whole miniature black, and then I'll hit it from the top with some white. And what that does is it creates the illusion of light. Since light is usually coming down from above, the light from above will be the white from above. And then if you put your coats of paint on thin enough, or use a special paint like an ink, or even a what's that new stuff they have that everybody's raving about, speed paint, it lets the black and white show through. So you'll get the color, but you also get this light and shadow effect that's really cool. Okay, that guy's on. This guy that I'm struggling with. Sometimes it works too after you have some dried super glue on there. Might have something more for it to hold on to. So let's try this one more time with this little guy. As you can see, these miniatures are very tiny. I will be painting them with a tiny brush, but I love the level of detail that I get from my Saturn III Ultra. It's a phenomenal printer. It is my second 3D printer, my second resin 3D printer. And it's got light years above my first one. There we go. Okay. So these guys are all ready to be painted, and I'm gonna take them out to the garage and prime them, and I'll be back for another video in a bit. If you stuck it out to the end, you are a champ, and I just want to say thank you so much.